What's going on YouTube? Astria Truth Exposed. Today we're going to be talking about shadow people, the men in black, and oddly enough, ancient aliens. We're going to be breaking down a clip of how these shadow people and all these things tie together, right? Ancient aliens, I'm going to say it off rip, they bring the craziest people on there. They make them wear the mad scientist hair. You know which guy I'm talking about. They bring the craziest looking people to say the craziest shit to promote lies. So don't believe what they say on the show, but the things that they mentioned are true. They just twisted the details up a little bit. Now first, I'm going to show you the clip real quick, and then we're going to break it down into sections.
However, just a year later, he suddenly ended the International Flying Saucer Bureau, and people wondered why. And what happened was that he came home one night, went into his bedroom, and suddenly these three dark, shadowy figures materialized through his wall into his bedroom. They were wearing the hats and the overcoats. They had glowing eyes, and they smelled like sulfur.
According to Bender, the three entities communicated with him through telepathy, warning him to discontinue his UFO research and stop publishing his influential magazine, The Space Review.
Now what's crazy, look how they show these black shadow figures, right? Wearing the hat. They look exactly like Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. And look at this screenshot. It says Freddy was a dream demon. And when they showed the guy when the three shadow figures arrived, he was sleeping. Those two things tie together. And real quick, what is crazy, and God knows I'm not lying when I say this, when I was about, I would say 7 or 8, I was allowed to walk through the neighborhood to my friend's house to go play. It was summertime, so it was a little bit dark out, but I was still allowed out to play around that time because of the street lights. Anyways, I'm walking through the alley, and the alley was kind of dark, and there was a street light at the very end of the alley. Once I get about halfway, I look down towards the end of the alley, and I seen this exact thing. On my soul, I seen this exact thing. It was a black shadow figure wearing that same kind of hat. That same exact hat. And the shadow figure was literally darker than the night. I could see it in nighttime, and I have terrible vision. It was just past the street light. And then they show these figures. And then it matches up with the dream demon about the fictional character Freddy Krueger.
After this experience, Bender was repeatedly visited. He said they gave him headaches, they controlled him telepathically, and he ultimately gave up his UFO researches and stopped publishing the Space Review.
He told the people that had been subscribers and he was working with, they told me, we come from a very, very far distant place in this universe. And we have been coming and going from your planet for some time, and we cannot allow you or anyone to interfere. And in fact, we have taken many humans.
Now see, the thing that they lied to you about is that these entities, right, are from a distant, far out planet. That's bullshit. They are from here. It's the same thing we call demons, the same thing we call fallen angels, same thing we call aliens. All of these things are connected. It's the shadow people, the fallen angels, demons. And what's strange, they also tie in to the black-eyed children and the black-eyed people. Did you hear what they said about the men in black, which we've heard many cases about them acting robotic, non-human? The same thing is said about these people with these all black eyes. They'll knock on the door, they look human. And then when you talk to them through the door, they seem to not know how to speak normal. They'll say the most strange things. that you can tell it's like somebody impersonating a human, kind of like what the Skinwalker does when it yells for help and it's sitting there walking in circles. All of these things are demonic beings. They are demonic in nature. These men in black people that show up, if you've seen something that you shouldn't have seen, is a real thing. There's real stories of these people showing up. And they also show up in unknown animal attacks and missing persons cases. When people claim to see some type of cryptid, they will show up, tell them you didn't see anything. If you say you seen anything, something can happen to your family. There's a good channel that I recommend that you go watch. It's called Abnormal Investigations. He covers videos about unknown animal attacks. If you go watch, actually I'm going to post that video. I created another video about fallen angels, Nephilim, the Lovelock Cave. So you'll have to watch that one. I included pictures of these unknown animals from the animal attacks. Footprints that are just, you'll have to just see it. It's insane. They pop up at UFO sightings, unknown animal attacks, missing people. Also search up David Pilates, missing 411, people missing in national parks. So it's interesting that on this show they mentioned these shadow people talking about they have taken many humans, which is true, which is what you hear me mention all the time about alien abduction.